am on a mission, and that mission is to slap people upside the head and wake them up and even make them hate me, if that's what it takes to get them to go examine what I'm telling them to find out that it's right.
First of all, this needs to be said. There never was a war. How can you say that, Bill? Well, a war is when two armies are fighting.
Politicians. Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck. Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they're elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks. This is what we have to offer. It's what our system produces. Garbage in, garbage out.
You know, and all these hidden agendas and just brainwashing and bizarre belief systems that are being thrown at us, you know, when they should all leave. Not only the good ones and the bad ones, they should all just leave and leave us alone.
And good afternoon, everyone. You are listening to Just in Time. It is Tuesday, February 11th, 2014. I had to say that weird for fun. And we're going to have a nice long 2 hours of ranting and raving and talking and crying. Probably not so much crying. And other things, banter.
Disdain.
And I am your host tonight, Mr. Justyn. And I have my co-host on here, Mr. James.
Hello from the frozen north.
It is frozen.
Yeah, I know.
Dude.
It's going to be cold again tonight. Yay!
What'd you tell me earlier? We're talking about the temperature?
I don't know. I said a lot of things already.
Yeah, well, he was saying, like, it's pretty bad when, like, you know, it's when you get up. Yeah, tell him, you know.
When you get up in the morning and it's like 2 degrees, and then by 10 in the morning it's 12, and you take off your jacket at work because you're like, ooh, it's balmy out. It's 12 degrees. Woo. Yeah, that's sad.
Let's go swimming, man.
It's a sad state of affairs.
Get the shovels, man. We're gonna clear off the beach, man. It's gonna be good. Don't forget to bring a pickaxe. We gotta make a hole. Oh, Polar Bear Club be damned.
Damn them polar bears. Hasn't it, like, global warming killed them off yet? Vicious polar bears.
Yeah, you know. Well, you know, if you listen to the mainstream, you know, they get stuck on those icebergs, you know, and they float out in the middle of nowhere, and they get stuck there. Yet
they can swim
like 20 miles.
Yeah. Liberals.
Coca-Cola. Remember those commercials?
They still have
bastards.
Little coke thieving bastards.
So yeah, man, we're live tonight, everyone out there in Radio Land, listening intently with their ears pressed up against something, and I'm not sure what it is yet. We do have open phones tonight, so 718-717-8296 if you want to join in on the call, and we will welcome all phone calls. So I don't know where we should start. Of course, we never know where we're going to start. So what are we going to do today, Pinky?
Take over the world. So how does it feel to only be a short timer at work right now?
3 days till paradise?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
It's a good feeling, but the problem with, like, leaving a job, man, like, if you don't just do it the dramatic way, you know, like,
yeah, like I do.
the dramatic, like, all right, storm out the door and
super meltdown.
Yeah.
Like the guy from Half Baked. Screw you, man. Fuck you. F you. You're cool. F you. I'm out.
Done that. It's fun. It's way easier than dragging it out for a week and a half. So I get to sit around and watch. It's kind of fun a little bit in a morbid way because you get to watch everyone kind of freak out because they're not sure if you're really leaving yet, because it's so cold out and you got so many tools and stuff. Screw you, man! I'm leaving. Friday's it. Happy Valentine's Day to me.
That's my present. I'm leaving.
That's right. So that's the only problem I'm having right now is like dealing with getting through the next 3 days, which is tomorrow's gonna be easy. I got to do a motor swap. So because it's warranty here, so we don't want to put too many new parts back onto the new engine.
Yeah, I understand.
So we got to rip it out, and then we got to rip off all the parts on it. So it should take all day.
Yeah, it should.
So that'll be nice and mellow. I don't have to stand around, my hands in my pocket, twiddle my thumbs, going like, all right, I can only wipe down stuff so many times.
Yeah,
and it's like you're looking at the clock, you're like, oh my god, I looked at the clock 95 times. It's been 3 minutes. I hate that, man. So as long as the next 3 days go like nice and quick, man, it's gonna be awesome. So, and I got some work lined up too for like the next couple weeks too. So no one has to worry about me being poor. I'm gonna have some bacon coming my way. Maybe literally, you never know. Some people pay me in food.
It's the way, like barter and trade, like we've talked about before. That's not a bad way. You need food, they need their car fixed. Voila, deal in the making.
Yeah, just don't send me any of those freaking frozen microwave dinners because just put those in the back of the fridge. Back, they can fight with the old meatballs from last year. So yeah, three more days and I'm done, and then I got to do. I get to go talk with a dude on Monday about getting hooked up with doing his short blocks, replacing engine bearings and everything, and doing build ups from the ground up, and that'll pay nice and royally. So now instead of working all week to make like $350 to $500 take home, I just do that in the morning, and then I get the rest of the day to hang out with you guys here on UCY. You never know. I might just be in the chat room. I am going to be taking a little hiatus from like most things except for the radio show. Like, I'm going to be doing some surfing around, trying to get some work lined up. But I am going to be taking a little vacation. Justyn really hasn't had a real vacation in a long time. So
he needs a real vacation.
I need to go somewhere cold. And wait a minute, I'm already there.
Halfway there, bro.
Perfect. Sweet. My Arctic Eskimo paradise. I'm gonna pick up a big package of Eskimo pies and some Klondike bars, and
what would you do for a Klondike?
I'd quit my job. I'd quit my job. Exactly. So yeah, winding down from that, but it's gonna be good, man. Life changes, and that's what we all gotta, look at. I think everyone should
2014
just
year of change.
Year of changes, real change. None of this pocket change, none of this faux change that
none of this talking about change.
Just do something about it. Seriously. We all have skills. Do something. Get out there and apply your skills. Sí, señor. Sí. Mr. Superman, no. Mr. Superman, no here. I'm out of lemon bridge. So freaking, I guess let's move on, man. So, what's been, jabbing your ass, boy.
That's a funny way of putting that. Stupid people. Let's just be blunt. Stupid people. I want to know how so many people in this world have made it as far as they have made it. Without falling in a manhole, without getting run over by a bus, even though like 90% of them need to be run over by a bus. I'm just tired of just societal politeness and stupid people. Like, that's like an evil combination. That's like somebody's cruel idea of a joke. Like, let's make all these people not give them any intelligence and make them be super polite so that they just play games with each other all the time. It's just retarded. Like, I try to figure out why am I always the guy. I mean, you know this personally. I'm always the guy that opens his mouth and says what everybody else is thinking, but nobody else has the balls to say.
But then once you get done saying it, what does everyone do?
Shy away and like, that dude's crazy.
Whoa, that's right. That's right after they go,
yeah. He said
it! Oh my God!
It's absolutely maddening to me. Like, I'm just so sick and tired of being sick and tired of dealing with this shit all the goddamn time. Like, on a daily basis, I am never at a lack of amazement for the ignorance that surrounds me. Now, am I that smart of a guy? No, I'm not. I feel like I'm average intelligence, and then you throw in all the partying I've done in my life, and I've probably dumbed myself down a little.
Knocked down a few points off the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Okay, but you're still like light years ahead of everyone else. Well, not everyone else, but a lot of people we deal with.
But, okay, and I don't even want to say that, but what I want to say is like, okay, do I have an overabundance of common sense? No, I don't think so. I think everyone else is lacking common sense, and I wear my emotions on my sleeve, so I take this shit personally. Like, I get seriously irritated with the ignorance and stupidity that I see and hear all the time. And it's just, it's enough to make you want to throttle somebody. Like, I watched a guy today. Case in point. Doing my job, driving around, and I see this guy coming, and I'd see him going the other way. He went to McDonald's, turned around, and came back. So, okay, first of all, fat bastard in a big-ass truck with a big-ass cap and ladders and all this shit. I don't even think he uses the ladders because I bet you can't climb a ladder.
The ladders are for show, dude.
Well, anyhow, my point being, okay, so I saw him and he's messing with his iPad while he's driving. He's got it on like this thing, like a cell phone mount.
Oh, yeah.
But for your iPad, okay? And I watch him pull out and he's looking at his iPad and he looks up, iPad, looks up, iPad. I'm in an intersection waiting to take a left-hand turn. He's coming, and he's coming, and he's coming, and he's not stopping. And so I had visions of you in my head of like, okay, what do I do? So you know what I did? Okay, this dude's an ignorant fool. So I tensed up. I'm in a Chevy Spark. Do you know what a Chevy Spark is?
Oh my God, you're in a Matchbox car.
That thing will fit in the bed of my 2002 Tacoma. Okay, that's a small car. I mean, I had longboards that are bigger than that car.
You could park a Spark inside my little wagon.
And this guy's driving a Dodge Ram 2500 Cummins diesel. Okay, what do you think is going to happen to James? I'll tell you what's going to happen to James. He's going to get run the F over. Okay, that's what's going to happen. And
going to lose the battle of lug nuts right there.
So so I see him and he finally comes to a stop. And what do? I find myself doing? Just waving and driving off. Like, to me, I should have gotten out of the car, jumped up in his window, been right in his face and just been like, hey, you're an ignorant fool! And then jumped back in the car and drove off.
Get off your device! Pay attention to what you're doing! You could have killed children! Wave the children. Just do what all the politicians. Wave the children. What if I was a 16-year-old kid? What if I was what if I was 17 and pregnant right now? How would you know?
So exactly, you're exactly right. So it leads me back. Okay, I'm not overly blessed with common sense, taking this, I've got to learn how to not take it personally. But it's so frustrating. And then on top of it being like, just society says we need to be polite to each other and we can't say the things that need to be said all the time.
No, it's not entirely true, dude. I was talking about this with a friend of mine on Skype about a week or two ago. There are groups of people you're allowed to ridicule publicly and everyone will join in. They're called smokers.
That's trwant You're right. I heard an interesting little study about that, or little thing about what the FDA want, they want, or FDA, I don't know, one of them faux government control groups that dictate. That's something else too. It's like everything getting dictated to us left and right. Like every time I turn around, like, oh, you got to do this, oh, you got to do that. Smoking's bad, they compared cell phone use to no, not cell phone use. Pardon me, I'm mixing up my two things that I read over the weekend.
So they compared smoking.
Well, that's a whole.
Or they compared the societal.
Well, the thing
politeness.
I was reading about smoking was they were comparing our rights as gun owners to smoking, and what they said was 20 years ago smoking was acceptable. We might as well start now, and in 20 years owning guns will be just like smoking. you're like a fringe.
Yeah, I'll take a 6-pack of Budweiser, and can you give me a couple packs of MR or M16s and a couple 9 mils? Like over the counter at the freaking convenience store from.
That was on the Vermont2A.com website. That's where that was. But, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired and playing this dance and playing this game. Like, I open my mouth all the time. I insert foot all the time. But at this point, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, people need to be told one way or another they're being stupid, they're being ignorant. Like, stop beating your child in public. Don't choke your dog. Don't beat your dog in public. Don't beat your dog, period.
Well, yeah, but, just.
Especially in public. That's what I'm saying. Just, people need to be told all the time, and somebody needs to be that guy. I'm gonna start running around and being that guy that just screams at everybody for doing everything wrong, like walking a crosswalk, like do this, do that. Like, I don't know. It's just.
You find yourself like I do. I used to live in Montpelier, man. And then freaking pedestrians, they like ninja out between cars all in black in the middle of the night, and there's no street lights. Nope. And you find yourself rolling one like, use a freaking crosswalk!
Yeah,
look both freaking ways! Only reason I saw you because your iPhone was glowing!
In a 6-block square area, which is downtown Montpelier, there are 22 crosswalks. I've counted them. I walked around town one night drunk, counted all the crosswalks because, yeah. I almost ran somebody over on the way home. So, when I lived in Montpelier.
You wanted to have some ammunition to yell at people?
Yep.
There's 22 crosswalks! Pick one!
Find one.
This is not number 13 and a half. This one doesn't exist. You see the absence of lines? Oh, wow, dude, you blew my mind, man.
My common sense led me wrong, man. No, you just didn't use your goddamn common sense. That's what you didn't do. Stupid bastard. Like, I just.
Blindly walking around, causing problems. But you gotta be polite, though, because pedestrians are like,
Well, they have the rule.
We do?
They're the law. Well, I mean.
They can jump out anywhere.
You have to yield to biped in traffic. Like, that's just. I don't know. It's not a bad rule not to run over a person, don't get me wrong, but they should obey their end of the law,
right?
Which is use the goddamn crosswalk. Like, there's, like I said, 22 of them in a 6-block square area, and they're like every 35 feet. So it's not that hard to find the white, stripy, glowing lines in the street to walk across where there's like 18 signs.
Let's say, crosswalk.
Yeah, and the ones that are in the middle of the street that say, yield to pedestrian, yield to ignorant biped. Because they don't look up, so.
Yeah, no. You see, like, I've been saying, I don't think I've said this on air too many times. I don't think I've said it at all. I might have. I don't know. I'm going to run it by y'all. But if I'm required to have a freaking seatbelt and an explosive device mounted in my steering wheel to protect me from myself in case I get stupid behind the wheel, then maybe if these ignorant, freaking arrogant, usually pedestrians,
entitled,
they're like, oh well, I'm a pedestrian. Well, maybe if you want to do what you do and jump out between cars in the middle of traffic on the way home, maybe you should maybe when you're walking, you should wear knee pads, elbow pads, and a freaking helmet.
Better yet, I just thought of something better. We'll just put them all in human-sized hamster balls. We'll just bump them out of the way.
The problem with that, dude, is you're going to find the one drunk dude on a Tuesday morning is going to out there playing hamster ball in the middle of town with his freaking Spark, He's not going to hurt anyone with that. It's like freaking Bill Hicks said about a Chevette, He's like, I was pulled over drunk in a Chevette. Cop said, well, good luck. Go get him. You're not going to hurt anything with that.
No, and actually, a Spark, I think, is smaller than a Chevette, to be honest with you.
Definitely.
Their car is ridiculously small. And it's snowy and icy, and I'm in summer tires, or at least all-season tires. Yeah,
I got my nice, mostly smoked winters on my car. That's exactly why I went off the road.
Yes, I know.
I should probably not do that. I should probably buy some better tires, but the fact that, like, we have to be dictated to by government agencies about what we can and can't do to protect the general safety of everyone. Yet, if you're in a car, you're in a different, it's like tax brackets. Like you're under different rules. You pay in more so you can have, blah.
Different set of rules for you.
Different set of freaking rules. So it's like, oh, well, you're in a car, so you have that privilege to be operating this car. Not like this is your property and you have the right to drive it. We're not going to do that. We're not going to go there. That's way too difficult. So, so these people that have like, shoes and they're like walking around, they can do whatever they want around here. That's one thing that really pisses me off about this state. If we got those pedestrians are like, on the level of children, which they act like children half the time.
They're on the level of cows in India. Like that's
right.
They're like to be worshipped as we watch them stroll, using, not burning gas, fossil fuel. Like, it's stupid shit, man. It's just stupid. It's like policed to death we are. The powers that be know that the general public is too stupid to figure most things out for themselves, so they have to be told, and they're led around by the bull ring. And like dealing with these people being led around the bull ring, not because I'm enlightened or anything, it's just because this shit bothered me before all of these things in my life, that you're just being led around and you're not thinking for yourself using the gray matter that you were given in your head. Like, just think for yourself, do for yourself, and not, it creates...
Take responsibility for your actions. That's all it is.
Shit, people!
So, handle your shit. Exactly. Take responsibility. I would like to think... This is actually, this is probably how it would work out for me, because I have, if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck. So, if I was one of these... blinded cell phone walking across the road in between crosswalks in a dark night wearing all black, and got hit by a car, knowing my luck, I'd get in trouble for it. Everyone else wouldn't though. And, it's just so mind-boggling. Like seriously, how do you people not fall over more often? And I'm not talking to the people listening to the radio show or in the chat room, but in general, it's just like these people that like wander around aimlessly, it seems like, jumping out in front of freaking traffic. They just have no... hold on. I have no idea what's going on.
No.
Apparently we have a no audio problem. I don't know. Let's do it. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No audio. Well, it's got nothing to do with me. I'm still freaking connected. Someone in chat, please let me know if I'm connected. I don't, got a bunch of no audios and looks like JJ can hear us. I'm not sure. Weird.
All right.
Okay, well, let's ask JJ. JJ, can you hear me?
It's cutting in and out. We're being heard. Tactical nurse can hear us.
Tactical nurse can hear us just fine?
Yep.
Ask her if we're cutting in and out at all. Just to... We are kind of, waving in and out of the microphone, but I don't know.
I tried to talk right into mine all night because I
don't know. It's something to do with the stream here. I'm going to try to reconnect, I guess.
All right. She likes her new nickname.
I'm going to try to reconnect. So here we go. Anyone that can actually hear me right now, I'm going to disconnect and reconnect. So, see you in a second. Alright, I reconnected. So that's all I can do. I really have no control over this, everyone. Sorry about the audio problems for anyone that's having audio problems out there. We know that Skype is kind of iffy sometimes. And I've noticed on other shows, that connect with Skype, not on UCY, but, lately it seems like, John Stokes and Jack Blood have been kind of in and out too. So I'm not sure what it is, but
it's all that global warming weather.
It's got to be. Global warming, exactly.
Oh,
my modem is frozen.
What's blaming on the weather?
Yeah, we'll go with the weather route. So I don't know if it's messed up the archive or not, but we're just gonna go forward with all this. We're moving ahead. We're pushing through. Exactly. Like a blind man in an orgy, we're going to feel things
we lose
through.
Phones? Seems how you recon.
No, they're still forwarded.
Okay, sweet. So we're good.
Yeah, so we're good, I think. And I was going to say, thanks to JJ. We'll figure that out. I know everyone gets to hear it and I get to type it. Type. There.
So where were we?
We were
bitching and moaning about
pedestrians, really.
Well, we were on pedestrians, but we were kind of going into detail where I wasn't trying to get too detail oriented. I was trying to stay a little general.
Well, it helps with the details. The scenarios really help. Like, cause, when you talk about something,
well, it's like,
when you talk about something in generalities, you kind of lose the feel for the conversation. So, but in general, like, let's talk about one of the reasons why I'm quitting my job. It's the same idea. It's ignorant people
doing
ignorant shit, not really knowing why they're doing it, and yet they continue. It's that whole definition of insanity. They keep doing the same shit over and over and over again. They don't know why. Like, nothing's changing. So
that's the definition of insanity.
Right, exactly.
Doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expecting.
Okay, now you're repeating me.
Whatever.
Don't make me get that fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
It's on call right here. Pins out.
We will
already.
have an on-air slap fight. I will slap you if you try that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have to turn the microphones up and we'll go over there. We're gonna have I'll even put on, Bad or something, from Michael Jackson. We'll have one of them Undercover Brothers smackdowns. As long as I can be Chris Kattan, you can be Undercover Brothers.
We just got arrested for DUI.
I know, I saw that.
Racked his Mercedes into the back of a parked truck.
Well,
it happens to me all the time.
It's why I go through trucks every week because I'm famous.
More stupid people.
Stupid people. Back on the dumb people. People that don't pay attention to anything anyone says to them, in my case, when it comes to the work. One of the reasons why I'm quitting is we had a shop meeting. And I've probably said this on air already. You're going to listen to it again. So I'm having a shop meeting and everything. This is the aftermath, right? Like, me and the only other person that makes money in the shop that pays 5 paychecks in the whole shop were being singled out for the shortfall in billing. Why would that have anything to do with us?
Because you're the easy go-to guys.
We're the easy ones to ridicule and yell at. Yeah, we're the easy ones. We're the low man in the scrotum pole. That's us. Okay?
I'll tell you why they go and yell at you like that. Because you don't stand up and speak up for yourself.
I did.
Well,
I tried the shop meeting, like, we weren't having any more of it. We weren't being rude or anything, and we weren't trying to hurt anyone's feelings directly. We were kind of playing into that societal politeness bullshit, and we had to. But, like, 3 days later, it got to the point. And, when shop policy, just like the policies that dictate our lives, the difference is when you're the dictator of the shop, because that's what it is, just starts blurting out, oh, you guys can't come into the inventory room anymore because we have inventory problems. So we don't want you guys in there. So if you need a part or you need something, like brake clean or something, you gotta ask and we'll get it for you. We'll bill it out and then we'll give it to you. Then you still have to write the part number down for everything anyway, just to double check and make sure. It's like, are you freaking, if it's already billed out, I shouldn't have to write anything on the work order for one.
Exactly. A and B, in this world, the automotive world, what is the number one saying almost every mechanic in the world says? Time is money. So you're wasting A, shop time, B, your time because you work flat rate. Mm-hmm. And every tenth is money in your pocket or out of your pocket, one way or the other.
And I lose it on plenty of other things.
So yeah, no. All
right, so
continue.
So this is where this is going, and it got to the point to me like, all right, fine. This was like the first day during the job meeting. Fine, I can deal with that. Whatever, we'll play it out. We'll see how this works out. We'll see how much time we're losing from the other people having to supplement getting us parts because we're getting parts
off their ass
because they're doing other things. or a customer's in there, or like they're on the phone or whatever. So what do you do while you wait to be like, I need this now?
You grab it and you go.
That's what we do. That's what we used to do.
Yeah, I know.
And we write the part number down. Well, they decided that we can't go in there, so now I have to like ask some person that is busy, and then I have to wait 5 to 10 minutes. Well, that's 1 to 2 tenths.
2 tenths out of your pocket.
And that's out of my pocket. So that's $3.40 that I'm losing, standing there with my thumb jammed thoroughly up my ass with no fucking lube, waiting for a can of brake clean so I can clean something off so I can put it back on so I can make some money so the shop can make some money. I can almost deal with that. Almost. We'll see how much that'll play out. Took 3 days, by the way. 3 days and I was done. But on the third day, it was first thing in the morning, and it was just there's only 5 of us in the shop total. Like there's two up front, two in the shop, and then there's one lady that shows up part time to sell used cars. So this is in the morning, and I'm going into the front office to go get my first work order, my second work order, one of the first ones of the day. Mm-hmm. So I walk in and I go. Walk right through the door, and I'm just standing there. There's no customers in there, no nothing, just the 2 dudes. And I go, so what do you need me to do? Give me a work order, give me something to do. And the boss kind of talks from the other room and goes, oh, well, you're going to have to ask him from that window inside the shop. We're trying to get, no more traffic through the front office. I'm like, so we're banned from the office? He's like, well, not necessarily banned, but we just don't want any traffic from you guys in here as much as you usually do. Oh, so we're banned from the office, we're banned from the inventory room, so now I have to like beg and plead through a frickin' 11 by 8.5 inch window. Please give me a work order! Give me something to do!
Give me some work, massa. Tell me what.
And I've been a dick about it since.
Good, you should be.
Like,
you shouldn't take shit.
I won't walk in that office at all. No. Period. I open the window and I throw the work order through the window. I'm like, I'm done with that one, give me something more. And I had to wait 5 minutes for him to give me something. Well, I'm punched onto another punch going like, well, there goes $1.70.
Yeah. As you should, you shouldn't take any shit from anybody. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't give a shit who it is. Boss, coworker, nobody. Everybody should respect each other and just get along and get along. Like, and stop playing these flipping games that people play on a daily basis with each other. Of like, well, I can't tell him what a douche I think he is because A, that might get me fired. B, I might offend somebody. C, he might cry because he's such a sis. Like, it's like, come on.
It has happened before.
Oh, yes. But, like, come on. Like, I mean, this is the thing is like, it's a bunch of no backbone having people. Like I say, I'm no better than anybody else. If anything, I've got a lot of flaws that make me worse than a lot of people. That I don't give a shit though. Like, you should be respected just as much for who you are as who I am as the next person is. It should be equal across the board. We shouldn't be like,
Well, they play the card of like, well, we're giving you a job. We're giving you this opportunity to make money for yourself. Yeah, we're going to dictate everything for you, not realizing that the 2 people in the shop pay everyone else's paycheck. Right. We pay everyone's paycheck.
I know.
No ifs or buts. There's no frickin' no gray area.
So what do you do in that situation? You tell them to take their job.
And stick it like square up their ass. Sun that
shove it up your ass because you know what? You can do this yourself. Goodbye. And I think if more people had that backbone to stand up and just be like, I'm not taking this shit anymore. Now we can take that exact little saying that I just said and apply that to bigger matters in everyday life. Like, them chipping away at our rights. Well, they stole our rights, but have a backbone, stand up, like say something. Like that's, I'm a voice in the wilderness screaming out there. I feel that there's like a couple of us standing around, like in the middle of the woods, armed, screaming to the top of our lungs, and we're doing our part. But
all we hear is the echoes. Yeah. Sounds just like me. Mm. So this that bugged. That's when I gave my notes the other day, and then since then. Well, let me just do a little back. I'm not very good at stories. My stories are all over the place. I'm part Irish. Deal with it. So, at the shop meeting, we were being told like what we're doing, what we're not doing right or not doing wrong, and about the billing. And we're just like, it's nothing to do with us. And then we got to talk. Well, we have, in the shop, we have one big building, and there's a garage door with an electric door open on both ends, and we just open one door, drive in, and the other one's to drive out. And 90% of the freaking time, there's something blocking the front door, so we have to back into the shop. We have to back into it. And I laid it right down. I was James Blunt. Like, I am sick and fucking tired of backing into this shop with 2013 cars, or like 2010 cars. That, like, if I scratch the paint, that's waterborne paint, that's expensive. Like, I have to, and then not only that, it's wintertime, and usually it's freaking below zero. So the second you get inside the shop, all the air moisture from the building inside freezes instantly to the car, so you can't see anything. So you roll the windows down, you have to have the other dude in the shop stop what he's doing to direct me around all the junk in the shop so I can get onto my lift so I can do a job. So 3 days, like, this is the same day I decided to give my notice, or maybe the day before, the boss brings the dump truck in and parks it in front of the front door and starts ripping the exhaust manifolds off. And you know what? That truck is still fucking sitting there. And I've been backing in and out of the shop like, oh, well, we didn't hear a word you said. Oh, well, this was a problem that we have in the shop. And, oh, we're just going to ignore it because we're ignorant bastards and we only care about ourselves. And that complies with a lot of frickin' people we deal with in this world. The pedestrians are just like that. Oh, yeah. It was just me.
Self-entitlement.
So, you know, and then the other problem that we brought up was, it was the reason why Travis is going to give his notice next week. The other guy that makes the money in shop's going to quit for the same reasons I'm quitting, because we aren't listened to. We're talked down to. We're treated like slaves, man.
Second class citizens.
Exactly. We're dictated to. You know, we're not listened to. We're dictated to. Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. So we say to him at the meeting, we're like, well, we're tired of diagnosing cars for free. Like, you have a sign out front that says 1 hour minimum diagnosis. 1 hour minimum. So what does that translate for anyone? In flat rate world, no matter what comes, if a car comes in, it's got a squeak. The squeak could be anything. It could be anything. Doesn't matter if it takes you 10 minutes or an hour to diagnose. You have an hour. It should pay an hour. Period. Yeah, that doesn't come into effect. So today, a car comes in on the hook, and the hook, for anyone who doesn't know, is a tow truck. So car comes in on the hook, and Mr. Trav brings it in, and it's got a brake leak. So the brakes are leaking. The training line, or the brake lines are leaking. And there's other things going on. It's making a horrendous noise. So he takes the right rear tire off, and the e-brake cable had been rusted and it pulled tight and stayed that way, and it was making a horrendous noise, and that was part of the complaint. So the car's on the lift for 20 minutes. Travis ripped the brake apart, diagnosed the car, was about to put it back together, and he was reprimanded for like, well, you weren't supposed to take anything apart. You know, you weren't supposed to do this. We were just supposed to plug it in real quick. And it's like, well, did you not listen to anything we have to say? And then that's when we both said, I already said, like, I'm done. That's why I'm done in 3 days. But Travis was like, you know what? I'm not going to be part of this sinking ship. I'm tired of bailing. Mm-hmm. And my hands are getting tired and my cup is starting to break. I am not going to be bailing water out of this no more.
And my back is sore.
But the point is, this dude's business is going under for one reason, well, two reasons. One's a dude that can't bail out shit properly, which is costing him money. And the other thing is he's too ignorant, or I don't even know if it's ignorance or arrogance. I can't tell.
No, it's
stupid. I don't even know.
A blind eye. He
doesn't want to believe.
He's got the rose-colored sunglasses on, man.
That when it comes down to it, like, it's the way he's running his business is causing his business to go down. Now he's going to be losing within the next 2 weeks. Both of his techs. Both of them. There's no one else that works in the shop. So it all comes back around as like, where's common sense factor in? And this is personal. This is his personal business. He doesn't have anything. This dude that owns a business has no wife, no kids. He's got a dog. He lives by himself. I don't even know how he lives. Like, I swear to God, like, I could probably count on at least one hand, almost two hands, the number of times he's fell down his basement stairs or out of a tree. Like, he has no common sense. He does the same shit over and over and over again. And he just doesn't want to realize. And this is the fundamental problem we have in our society. Is like people redo the same shit over and over and over and over and over again, and they wonder why they always have a broken arm or a broken hand or like their face is stuck in someone's windshield. They don't
don't learn. What it is, they don't learn from their mistakes. They don't
even learn the hard way.
Learning the hard way is a mistake, usually a painful one, but they don't learn. It's like that's like a dumb mouse. It's like it's like the dumb mouse that you're trying to teach the maze to. If it keeps getting shocked, you don't use that mouse too much because you know what? He's not so bright. It's like in the animal world. Like, what do they do with like really like messed up cows or horses that can't be done anything with? Well, not in this country anymore because people are like, oh, you can't kill them because they're, like they cull the herd. Like that's, we don't allow the herd to self-cull anymore. And like they're allowed to just run rampant and breed. This is the other thing is they breed more of them. They're like cluster flies, man. And if anybody doesn't know, if they've ever lived in Vermont, I don't know if they have them in other parts of the world, but cluster flies are gross and they just appear on like the hot sunny days in the middle of winter and you'll go from no flies to like 40 flies in your window. It's gross. But anyway, they breed like cluster flies and they're just there, buzzing around, like wreaking havoc everywhere they go and fucking it up for the rest of us that are just trying to get by and do what we do on a daily basis. And they just like get in the way. It's like walking through a yard and stepping on dog shit and not getting warned.
In Vermont, like the people that can't produce or like can't produce a product or like a skill, they're like promoted here.
Yeah, it's called welfare. They live better than
it's sad. Like we've talked about
they
before.
They get $2,500 a month plus, like depending on kid level, you get.
I would love 25. I have to bust my ass for $1,800 to $2,000 a month.
I know, and they get that on welfare, dude. It's no wonder they don't want to work. They lay around, collect $2,500 a month, plus they live in subsidized housing, so they're paying like $80 a month. Plus they get food stamps. Plus we pay for their health care. Like, give me a freaking break. Like, I'm tired of this shit. Like, and somebody needs, like, that's what I'm saying. It goes back to what I was saying about societal politeness. Like, screw societal politeness. I'm done. Just, if you're an idiot, I'm going to call you an idiot. If you're being a dumb bastard, you're going to get called a dumb bastard. I don't care anymore. Like, it's time to stop playing the game and like, unless you live in some sort of world that there's nothing else that you have no other choice. But if there's some way you can make a move or make a choice so that you don't have to do that, like, then by all means, I will support you in that decision because I'm making a personal change. Like, like walking down the street and there's a group of people that, pedestrians that see you coming and they're looking on their phone and they don't move for you. You know what I mean? Like if you're walking arm in arm with your wife that they don't move. It's just things like I'm done being polite in society. Like I'm just done. I'm going to be sandpaper. I'm going to be like 40 grit sandpaper out there in the world. Like people are just going to get rubbed raw every time.
Your new last name is abrasive.
Super abrasive.
James 3M.
Something, but you know what I mean? It's like, I'm done, dude. Like, I'm not doing that no more.
You're gonna make yourself a nice little suit and be Mr. Frickin' Jump into conversation. You're being dumb! And like jump out like a ninja just to like point out to people. Like, it needs to be done more often. Like,
it does.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
It's like, why do I need to be polite to somebody that is being rude? Like, why do I gotta just be, why can't I say something? There's no reason why I can't, really. It's just, there's a stigma attached to it. Well, no more stigmatas for me, so,
I'm not bleeding from my hands.
Or your feet, but, you know what I'm saying? Like, screw it, dude. You're being loud and obnoxious, I'm gonna call you on it. Like, you're doing something dumb, I'm gonna call you on it.
We should always be encouraged to be ourselves a lot more than just like, oh, well, do whatever you want. We should just be like, oh, well, you almost hit me with your car. Well, I'm gonna yell at you for 5 or 6 minutes, and that's a lot cheaper than you actually hitting me. Right. Like, I'm saving you some money here, but I'm gonna yell at you and tell you how dumb you are for like, oh, well, I didn't see you. Well, look.
Yeah.
Behind you.
Get off the phone.
It's pretty simple. What's that in your hand? Oh, it's your BlackBerry. Well, I'm gonna freaking smash it, so you don't have to worry about this anymore.
I'm all for respecting an individual and what they're doing. I have respect for what you're doing, but if you're gonna just completely be flagrant about what you're doing and throw it in the face that your entitlement makes it okay, well then, guess what? not this guy.
Well, we all see that shit though, like daily. Like I'm not talking about in just like regular life. When like the people that are the problem, they see this shit on TV all day long. Like these celebrities can do whatever they want. These politicians, they can go out and buy coke and shit off a freaking D8, and what are they gonna get? Freaking, oh, my wrist hurts. She smacked me too hard. Yeah. But that's fine. It's like,
it's time to stop making excuses saying like, oh, that's just so-and-so being so-and-so. Like, like as a Red Sox fan, it's like Manny being Manny. Well, yeah, okay, that's Manny being Manny, but let Manny be Manny somewhere else far away from me. Like, go ahead, because I don't want to put up with that. You know what I mean? I don't want to put up with so-and-so, Joe Blow from Kokomo acting like a douche to me because he feels like he can, and we're just going to say, oh, well, we're not going to say anything just because, no, that's him being him. Like, screw you, dude. I'm going to get right up in your grill and be like, you better watch who you're talking to, boy, because I'm not taking it. Like,
you kiss your mama with that mouth? Huh? You probably kiss half a town with that mouth, don't you? You sound like an arrogant prick. I've done this plenty of times at the bar, man. Done this plenty. But you can't argue with you can't argue with these people because they have their own their viewpoint in their world stuck in their head. And Mr. Trav gave me a great quote. His quote. And I'm sure you probably heard it somewhere before, but it was from him. That's where I got it. He says, you can't have a logical argument with an idiot. You can't argue a point with an idiot or an ignorant, arrogant person either, because all they're going to do is drag you down to their level and they're going to beat you with experience.
Exactly. That's right. That's a good quote. I like that.
Like, don't argue with them. Just move on, man. But like, there's a point where what you got to do is just, like, you got to like, say your piece and peace out at the same time. Be like, and then go. Bang, don't even give them a chance. Just roll with it. But these people need to be like put in their place. They need to be told that like, you can't be like that. Exactly. You just can't be like that. It ain't right.
Right. And that's exactly right. And everybody is so hands off with things. It's just like, like with you can get in trouble for basically looking at something the wrong way. It doesn't matter. You know what I think personally? Okay, what state do we not really need? Like, what's a big open place? Like Kansas, Iowa, Wyoming. Okay, we just put a big old electrified barbed wire fence around the whole state, on the whole border, the imaginary line that's there. We just fence it all off and put them all there. And then we can go and look at them as an exhibit. And if you can prove you're worthy to get out of there by, moving up the ladder of like common sense, things that you can do in everyday life, other than that, you get to be stared at and poked with a stick by the regular people. Like,
and if you put a quarter in the machine, you can turn it and little pieces of donut come out and you can feed them. It's like a petting zoo.
It is. It would be like a giant petting zoo. I guess we would need a big state because there's a lot of stupid people out there. Walking down the street, looking at your phone entirely and just not ever looking like that's dumb, dude. That's just dumb. Like, another thing, it's like, bicycles. People that ride bike. There's one lady that rides her bike every day. I see her every day. It doesn't matter if it's 20 below or 90 degrees outside. The woman is riding her bike. I see her every day. But she rides in the middle of the road and does not get out of the way. Yet, she doesn't. Okay, so my thought process is being, okay, she's going to be in the middle of the road acting like a vehicle. Okay, fine. I'll give her the respect. I'll give another vehicle. But if you're not going to obey traffic laws, then you deserve to get run the fuck over. Like, cause I've seen her dart across traffic. I've seen her make illegal turns. No hand signals. No nothing. You know what? It's 20 below and your hands are cold. You better still use those hand signals because I have to use my blinkers.
You chose that bicycle. I chose a car. Right. It's got heat.
It's warm in here. Like, I have a lever. Put your arm out there. I don't care how cold it is. You better, but she doesn't. And it's just like, if you're going to act one way, then you deserve to be treated that way. It's not that difficult, is it? Really? I mean, it's like I said, I don't have an overabundance of common sense, but are the rest of them that lacking?
Well, I find myself riding my little chintzy bicycle, my little Schwinn bicycle in the middle of traffic, and these thousands of pounds of metal objects he's whipping around me. I'm just gonna act like I'm a pedestrian. I'm just gonna turn now. And then, the guy in the big Chevy truck hit me, and it's his fault. You know what? I just had like a thought, man, a minute ago, and it kind of like just popped in my head. We were talking about the smart cars last week. Mm-hmm. Okay, now we're gonna have these, not like the smart car, but like these cars that have the autonomous cars, or like the cars that have these integrated systems in them that not only GPS, but they have the sensing around them. Right. Well, I'm envisioning a future where at some point there's probably gonna be like technology that's gonna integrate when you're like, if you put it in like, I'm on a bicycle mode, or I'm a stupid pedestrian mode, and you're walking, or like you're riding your bike, it's going to communicate with these cars. So if you decide to go across the road, the car's going to stop. Like I can see people in the future pushing for legislation to make that mandatory. And why do we need that? We don't need that.
There's lots of things they push for that they're trying to make mandatory. It's just.
But you see, like, I know. You see where I'm going with that. Yeah, like, it's again more regulations and technology driven.
More telling us what we
policy to,
telling us what we can do because we can't do it for ourselves.
That's right. Protect us from ourselves because we are our own worst enemies. Yay for us! We are so smart. We need to have everything dictated to us.
We're humans. Yay! We're the top of the food chain. Yay! It's just so frustrating. It's maddening, dude. It's just like it's like you just go round and round and round and round, and I can come up with probably hundreds more examples of like the same thing but different. You know what I mean? Like just another example of stupidity out there, and it's something, like I don't know. Okay, what can be done? I don't know. I can take a personal stance and start yelling at everybody, but I'm going to go hoarse and lose my voice like tomorrow. If I were to start tomorrow, I'd be hoarse
by noon.
And then couldn't come on the radio on Thursday because I had no voice left. So
how are we going to listen to talk like this? I'm like, hey, we're here just in time. Mr. James. Hi, everybody. I was down in town today, if you can't tell. And, yeah, I'm just gonna be quiet for a minute. Give me something to drink. I feel like that's where it's gonna. You pick your battles too, buddy.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's that is something I have learned as a parent. Is you pick your battles. Like you don't, but all you can do is hang your head and shake it. And I could keep a journal, but I would run out of paper by noon.
The Diary of Mr. James just says, screw you! People! I can't do it anymore!
Well, that's why I live in Vermont, so think about that. Okay, let's put me in a major metro area. Like, man, I'd snap in probably about a week. Like, I live in Vermont because there's only 630,000 people that live here. Like, that's a small town in some places, you know what I mean? It's like, or a small city. I don't know. I live here because of the lack of people, and so I would just imagine that my head would probably twist around and explode. And I see it every time I go to Boston. I go to Boston a lot, but you see it down there, and it's just like I don't know. I don't know how so many people live so long being so dumb. Like I want to just run up to them and be like, "Excuse me, how have you lasted this long? Like, how have you not been like whittled off by like natural selection?"
Just make it sound like a compliment. Like, dude, you're walking so well today.
Like, did natural
you're doing
selection,
good.
Did natural selection you forget humans, or are we so parasitic that we can multiply faster?
No, we're above natural selection, dude. We came up with the idea. You see that's where that comes from. Our brains. We done used the noodle, and we came up with a theory, hence we were exempt from it as a whole species.
Well, I just think we're so parasitic as a species that we're just...
I'm just happy I got opposable thumbs.
I am happy about that.
Yeah, holding this beer would be really hard right now. Without the thumb.
Doing a lot of things.
I'm going to try it. There we go. If you guys hear a broken bottle...
You're still using your thumb.
This is difficult.
You're about to...
I'm about to lose it. Okay. Thank George Carlin for thumbs, everyone. And Joe Pesci.
I don't know. It's... I guess I gotta stop. I've gotta like don a suit of armor and stop wearing my emotions on my sleeve because it's just like, I'm also not one to keep things pent up for too long. Because if I do that, then it's just bad. Like,
But you're a lot better these days, man.
Well, that's because I'm not working on cars and dealing with that whole, like, I mean, that's a stressful world. Like, I don't know, if anybody's ever, if you don't work on cars professionally, it's a hard thing to, to know what it is, but it's a stressful world mentally, physically. I mean, you've got to constantly be on top of your, like, schooling and the latest technologies. And you have also got to deal with, like, however many other guys in the shop. Like, you're lucky you only have one other, like, technician to deal with. But you work in a dealership, in a large dealership, you're dealing with, like, anywhere from 9 to 15 guys. You got service writers, you got parts guys. There's just a lot of different personalities to deal with. And, over time, people's antics start to wear on you. And, and it's, that's just, Joe Bob. That's just Joe Bob being his racist Joe Bob self. And it's like, you get tired of that shit. You get tired of hearing, derogatory remarks day in and day out, such as goob. Like, you get tired of this shit. And it's like, so on top of a physically demanding job where you're constantly lifting, bending, twisting, standing on your head, knowing electronics, plumbing, therapy, because when you deal with the customer in those type of worlds, you have to learn how to deal with a customer. And then you've got to also deal with the, mental stress of the service. It's a demanding world. And, like, you know what? It made me an angry, pissed off white dude, and I channeled it into an angry Asian man. And that's how I scream at the world. But
I think South Park had something to do with that.
Probably a little. But, and like, but since I made a conscious decision to shake that shackle loose, because I thought, okay, this is the only thing I know. What am I going to do? I can't make that leap. What am I going to do? I need to make money. You know what?
Bite the bullet, jump the shark, do what you got to do for yourself.
Thankfully, I have a wonderful woman in my life that supports me in that decision. I know she wishes I make a little bit more money, and so do I. But in the end, like, with the things that I've undertaken right now, like, she understands, and she's a good lady. The tactical nurse is nobody to be messed with.
I love a tactical nurse.
So, it just comes down to, like, for each and every individual, if you feel the same way we do or not, whatever, you're free to do what you want to do, but make that choice if you can. It's a scary thing to just give it all up. And I gave up a fairly decent career. Like, it's fairly, you can make decent money in the right place, but my attitude and my mouth and my unwillingness to put up with anybody's shit at any given time,
you know what I love about you, dude?
What's that?
Your mouth can't write a check your ass can't pay for.
There's that. There's also that. Ask that gentleman that I had to pay $450. Yeah.
Well, you wrote the check and you cashed it.
He wrote his check, man. We don't bounce checks here. I mean, that's the thing, is like, I hope I don't come across as intimidating like that. I just hope I come across as a no bullshit type of person that, screw you, man. Like, I don't have time. I don't have time nor the mental energy to waste on something like that. Like, I have many other intellectual pursuits that I would rather follow, or many more hours of research on my phone in my window of my apartment that, I can do, that I'd much rather waste time on that, until it's all gone. And then, I'll waste time on surviving. But screw it, dude. I'm done dealing. This is just, screw it.
All right, well, I think this is a good segue here. I'm going to throw out the number again to y'alls out there, if anyone wants to join in. The number is 718-717-8296 if you'd like to call and join in the banter. We can talk about stupid people, we can talk about anything, and I'm sure everyone out there has got a story or two, and that's being conservative, I'm not very conservative. I'm more of an independent. I don't even like being called independent. I'm a free thinker. Nope. I don't even want to go that. I don't do the labels. I'm just me. I'm me in this world, and I am stuck in this world. So if anyone wants to join in, just give a call to the number. I'll add you. So I don't know if we should move the conversation since we're on our second hour here in about 30 seconds. I don't know if we should move the conversation a little bit. We were ramping up last week a little bit about the gun show.
Oh, the gun show was an awesome time. I got to see some awesome guns. And there's some good stuff out there.
But did you notice what I noticed? Like, everything was kind of marked up a shitload.
Oh, it's always marked up a shitload. Oh, I mean, it's funny because I was like, that same gun, I was in the gun store 3 weeks ago looking for bolts for my crossbow. And they're expensive there. But the same gun I saw at the gun store was marked up $100 at the gun store.
Same dealer?
Or at the gun show. Yeah. The one gun store we all go to. Yeah. I was like, the same gun. I was like, are you for real? Like, the only deal we found, really, like, they had a lot of cool books. There was some good stuff. But, the tactical nurse found, 350 rounds for $130.
That's a good deal. I would have bought that. Yeah. I would have bought that, but I was buying 308s instead.
Yeah, well,
I got plenty of 9 mils.
But then we found, what was it? $450 for $120 or I don't know. It was like something better. And it's like, you're like, I should. Oh, but that was, I feel. Oh man. And that dude was doing cash. And the other guy was doing cards and lots of trinkets. Lots of trinkets and stuff. Like lots of knives. Like there was a lot more knives there this year. I noticed. They're going to try to take those away next, but
they're going to limit us on the inches of our blades.
Well, they already do.
I know. Was it 4 inches now?
3
inches.
3 inch blades.
See, I don't know. I walk around with my knife and I don't care.
Stop
me. Like, it's not like I walk around waving it around. Like, hey, I'm getting a cup of coffee. Shink, 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 snick, snick. I'm not. I'm not.
Not Steven Seagal.
No, I got Steven Seagal news for you, dude. I was looking through my little YouTube feed. Check this shit out, man.
Whoa. You just smacked me with Steven Seagal.
There was on RT, man, they posted this little clip, like 8-minute clip there. And, Steven Seagal is thinking about running for governor of freaking Arizona.
Oh, actually, I read that.
Did you read that?
Yeah, I read something.
He's not sure if he can or not because he's only been there for 4 years. It might be 5. He's not sure. But either way, like, what's going to happen. It's going to be like Schwarzenegger. He's going to be like, oh, we're going to vote for him because he's famous. Yeah. Steven Seagal, like, he was good in his early days, I guess.
Dude, he was a B movie actor.
He was always all the way, yeah.
But he was like, he was somebody, like, I forget, I don't know, I used to know more information about him, like, I don't know, you ever watch his Steven Seagal cop show?
The lawman.
That was kind of fun.
Shit. It's I'm lawman boy tonight. I've watched one episode and it was just like, are you kidding me? It's just like Steven Seagal cops.
It's like, we
got somebody going he just went the wrong way on the interstate. And then you're like, smash, bang, boom. You're like, oh, he just wrecked into someone. No shit. Why don't you go over there and like, do something? Like arrest the firefighter trying to help. Why don't you do something?
It was like to me, it seemed like what Steven Seagal thought his life should be like every day. It was like his little personal dream.
Well, I swear, it probably is true too. It's probably really sad.
Why is he running? I thought he was a cop in Louisiana. Cause that's where he's from. He's from Louisiana, isn't he?
I don't know where he's from. I don't follow Steven Seagal, dude.
Oh, you're a secret closet Seagal fan. You're like the president of the fan club.
No, I do like watching his movie though, cause I'm like, seriously, he can't do that more than once. What'd they do with that camera?
What I like doing in movies is counting bullets. I like counting how many are.
Oh yeah, dude, I do the same thing, man. It's only like recently that I've found weapons that can carry 19 and 20 rounds in one magazine. that doesn't extend out the bottom, man. Like it's wicked funny.
Speaking of those were a lot of those at the gun show. Did you see how many of those 9mm?
The Glock freaking drums?
Yeah.
Oh man, 50 round Glock drums? Like
they were everywhere. Like everywhere. I couldn't believe how many of those things.
I want one for my Springfield, but I don't own a Glock because I don't like Glocks.
I know you don't like
a lot of people like Glocks. Well, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'm a weirdo. I don't like anything that's not rare either, but that's why I have I
like Smith & Wesson. Like that's my, and I'll tell you what, every Smith & Wesson, I picked up an old version of an M&P 40 a earlier version, and it still fit the grip fit my hand very nicely. And I picked up a couple of other S&Ws.
Correct yourself. You're bare mitt.
Yes. Fit my paw correctly. That's, our mutual friend that has the Glock. I don't like it, man. It shoots nice. Man. I mean, it's a nice shooting gun. It's kind of a bitch to pull apart sometimes, but I don't know. I don't like the feel of my hand. I like the
Springfield?
The XD. Yeah. I like that. That's nice. It's almost a little small, but.
Well, that's why it's an XDM 3.8 compact. That's why it says compact. It's a little small. It's a compact, but it's not. It's no Spark.
No, it's no LCP 380.
Oh man. Yeah, the tactical nurse's parents bought a 380. This little teeny. I mean, with no bullets in it and no magazine in it, the thing must have weighed 3 ounces.
Maybe.
And it's got a laser on it. I think the laser was bigger than the barrel. Seriously, I'm holding it fits within your palm of your hand. You're like, dude, that's a small gun.
Yep.
I'd lose that in my pocket. I'd probably end up grabbing my keys first. If it came down to a situation where I need to grab my little teeny freaking, laser pointer, gun. I'd lose that thing. I'm like, oh, dig. Oh, oot. Ah, there it is. By then it's all well, the guy's gone. Shit. Well, I tried. I was gonna help. The intention was there. Good intentions make for a lot.
That's a lady gun. That's what that thing is. But it was cool though. It was cool to shoot. It was just pew, 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 pew. I liked it. It was, I don't know.
Pew. No kidding. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang.
So yeah, what was your favorite part of the day? The gun show day.
Oh, the whole day or just the gun show?
Break it down. You have 2 favorites?
Yeah, the favorite part of the gun show was leaving the freaking BO fest and the elbows to asshole fest. Yeah.
Yes.
Leaving that was great because, that building was not big enough for everyone that was there.
So they need to move. What was funny in the paper, just before you continue, was they said that with all the recent crime in the area lately, due to all the heroin use, that the attendance was up this year and the sale of small firearms was up, small pistols and, personal protection
devices.
Weaponry. Yes. was up this year. And that was just a quick scan across the front page of the paper,
cool.
The propaganda thing there. That covers our entire state.
the propaganda rag.
Yes.
Burlington Free Press.
No. The Argus.
Oh, the Argus. Screw the Argus. Screw it.
Yeah.
It sucks. Oh, speaking of the Argus.
So.
And gun news and in the Argus today, because we were, Mr. T-Rab, spends most of his lunch break eating his lunch and reading the police reports. This is funny. And there's a lot, oh man, the people that call the cops and it gets reported in the news, you wonder, it goes back to the dumb people. It's just oh my God. I'll preface this a little bit with other dumb stuff. One of the little police report things, it said on Saturday, there was a sick skunk in the street. I'm like, are you kidding me? Someone called the cops to let them know that there was a sick skunk in the street. And I'm not making this up. And some other street, someone lost a Subaru key. Are you kidding me? And when it comes to gun violence, there was one gun violence thing in there. One. I was amazed. I was gonna, bring it up tonight, and I am now. Cause I thought it was funny. Because the cops didn't do anything. They had no one got arrested, no one got dealt with. But here's the gun story of the frickin' year so far in our area. Someone walked into a store with a gun, pistol whipped someone, and left.
Wow.
No one was arrested, and minor injuries on the victim.
He got pistol whipped and only had minor injuries?
All it says to me is that dude slept with his wife. That's all that says. Or even looked at her cross-eyed, man. We're pretty protective of our females around here.
But it had to be
it didn't say which one.
Oh,
it was all vague. That's why I'm saying funny. Exactly what it said. I'm like, what the hell, man?
Okay. you know what? That's a guy that said, I've had enough of dealing with stupid people, and this is how
Walked in, thwack, and left. Literally, the cops were called, no one knew who he was, and no one, it's like, are you kidding? That's total Vermont, though. We don't whip it out and start shooting people. No, smack, and fucking leave.
Yep. That's somebody that handled their shit. That's what that is. What he was handling his shit.
No one ever knows the two sides of every story.
Exactly. You're exactly right. Maybe he slept with his wife. Maybe he just grabbed his wife. Maybe he tried to get a phone number. You don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was a drug deal. Who knows? But he just walked in, handled his shit, and walked out. Sweet. I'm not dealing with stupid people. See? On one level, can't fault the guy, man. Like, and whatever he thought in his mind, he was handling his shit. So, whatever. I got nothing to say bad.
I thought it was just funny. Like, the thing that man walked into a gas station or a convenience store, pistol whipped someone, and left. It's like, I'm glad you're out there to protect us. That right there means right now that anyone in any rural area should be armed. Period. Because, and should be wearing a helmet for some people. If you're known to, go around and, poke at other people's wives, you might want to wear a helmet, because pistols bounce off of those, I hear. The bullets don't, but the pistol does.
It'll hurt a little less.
But it goes to show, the gun violence in this state is laughable, man.
Oh, completely.
Laughable. And, you got that pamphlet from, the Vermont, Second Amendment.com, was VT2A.com.
Yep.
And it's all about, trying to protect our gun rights and we have a sportsman's Bill of Rights in this state.
Yes, we do.
Where owning our weapons are not only constitutional on the federal and state, but they have a third one, just to make sure everyone knows that we're supposed to have guns. Because we need to have it because it's our right.
Yep. Well, we're a hunting state, quote unquote. So, it's like people travel here to come hunting. So, I don't know. But we have zero gun violence in this state. Almost zero gun violence.
Usually usually we only got one kind of gun violence. Well, two.
Well, you have
two if you count the guy that duct taped his face up and is walking around lately, trying to frickin' steal as many pills as he can from all these pharmacies.
Well, he's been successful so far. But.
Yeah, well, I know people that are walking around with dual wields under their jackets to hopefully run into that guy to stop him. And I laughed at him because the saying is he says he has a gun, but he never produces one. And guy Steve shows up at the shop and he goes, that duct tape robber? And we go, yeah. He goes, they don't know if he has a gun. He just says he has a gun. And he opens his jacket and you see 2 9s. He goes, well, I don't say I have nothing, but I got 2.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Well, it takes a little bit of freaking, you know what? We're crazy on certain, when it comes to certain people's freaking, descriptions of people, because we speak our mind. We have we have an opinion. So we're crazy, Oh my God.
We're just assholes.
We look at things and think of things and deal with things in a common sense manner.
So hold a common, point of view or a common opinion. A certified A-OK, it's okay to have this opinion or that opinion. You can have one or the other. But if you have any of these over here, that's something to be looked out for, and you should report that to your nearest authorities, because those people are dangerous.
See something, say something.
Well,
I'm going to start calling the cop. I saw a cop, and he was there.
I saw a cop eating a donut. Is that within, the limits of what he's allowed to eat?
There should be a weight limit, dude. I was robbed, 12 years ago now. And I called the cops thinking I'm 20 or 19. They're gonna help me. They're gonna come and they're gonna do their thing. And they're gonna, do the fingerprint thing and they're gonna take my report and I'm just a little teeny kid thinking they're gonna help. No. What they did was they came to my house, went through everything, told me, well, we're never gonna find him. You're screwed. You have no laptop, none of these things, Well, and then one of the cops was 5'2" and 500 pounds. I'm sure he had to shoehorn his ass into that cruiser.
Yeah.
You ever, I'm thinking to myself, that explains why they have such full-size cars.
Yeah.
They have full-size cars because they have full-size cops.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, these guys are pointless, especially in rural areas as cops. I trust them.
It takes them 25 minutes to get anywhere.
I would trust the freaking deputized freaking sheriff dude, because that guy like really wanted to do what he's doing. He had a motive. It's not always right, but the guy wants to be there to do the job. This cop just wants a paycheck. This dude like peeled his ass out of a freaking chair. Literally, I called the cops. They come 2 hours later. At that point, I was living 3 fucking blocks away from the fucking cop station. And it's not like they got anything better to do other than watch the bar behind the place to make sure no one's driving drunk. But it's all revenue collection, you know. When it comes to actually anything, they didn't do any investigation.
They don't protect and serve.
I found out who freaking robbed my house. I found out. You know who did it? My aunt. My aunt did it because she was pissed. You know who did it? My cousin, her daughter's freaking boyfriend, and baby mama or daddy or mama because he was a pussy. I don't care. I hate that dude. Him and his freaking crackhead cousin who lived in the first floor of my apartment building kicked my door in on the third floor and like took all my shit. Cops couldn't figure that. They walked around. They go, "Oh, did you hear anything between this time and this time?" "No, officer. I was at work." Screw you people. Screw you cops. Like, you don't do your job.
Well, okay, this brings up something else I was pissed off about. You know, I have certain things and habits that I read on the web because it's just been long-standing habits, and I'm kind of morbid sometimes. But, like, I just read the most screwed up news stories I can find. And you know what's really sad to me is they usually involve kids, and I can't read very much of it because of my daughters. But if something were to happen to one of my daughters, and they were raped and murdered, and the guy got off on a technicality, and I was so distraught that I went and shot that guy or killed that guy or whatever, I would serve time because, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it should be like Old West justice, man. Like, you know, it comes down to the fact that if you're doing dumb shit, you should get called on that, like, instantaneously, like, right then and there. Like, if you get caught, you know, the punishment should fit the crime, so to speak. You know what I mean? I know Gandhi.
Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth is
well,
not,
but I know, like Gandhi
thing.
said, what does Gandhi say? Like, if you take an eye for an eye, the whole world goes blind. But guess what? My response to that is no, not really, because what happens after a while, you've culled the herd down of all the stupid people, and the other people aren't doing that shit to each other. So you stop. You don't, the whole world won't go blind. You know, or maybe he was onto something and there's just that many people like that out there. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a whole screwed up thing.
It's just, it's handling your own shit and taking care of your own fucking life at that point. That's what it is. It's what
like
it
I
is.
screamed on Thursday.
And it really comes down to that. Like, you know, you should, if you go through the proper channels and the proper channels fail you.
You follow their letter of
what they have their own little outline of what we can and can't do, what you shouldn't do. Oh, well, this one dude, this dude shows up and, like, you know, I don't even want to get.
I'm saying, if I had found, you know me, and if I had found out that who robbed my apartment, I would have been down there knocking on the door with Mr. Louisville. And
he disappeared real quick, I'll tell you that.
Well, regardless, I'd have tracked his ass down. Like, if I knew who it was, you can't hide up here. Everybody knows everybody. Like, it doesn't matter. There's like 1 degree of separation up here.
Revenge is better served cold.
I understand that, but you know, like, I would have been down there and I'd have handled it right then and there. Like, you know what I mean? As soon as I found out, handled. Like, it's a shitty thing though. Like, you know, like, just like you said, they were ineffective at doing their job. Okay. So if you know more and you can do it and you can handle it, then you should be allowed to. Like, you stole from me, so I'm taking everything from you right now. I'm taking the clothes off your back, everything. Like, you're stripping and I'm taking it all. You know, oh, you shot at me, so I'm going to shoot at you. You know what I mean? Like, it's an eye for an eye, man. Like, I don't know. Pick your scenario. I'm going to do that, you know, tenfold probably.
You know, I'm it's going to sound kind of crazy. Of course we all are a little bit. If you're not, you're not. You're on medication. If I find this dude, Dan Newell, I gave his name. Screw that guy. Anyway, if I find him, What I would do is I'd do it the respectful way, right? I'd get myself a portable tattoo gun. And I'd crack him right square in the skull so hard that he'd pass out, and I would freaking tattoo across his forehead, "I'm a thief, liar, and a rapist." It's like Scarlet Letter style. You ain't getting rid of that.
Nope. Well,
Well, you are, but he can't afford to do it.
lots of makeup and lots of hats.
You know, then just to be an asshole, I draw a dick on his cheek. You know, like he was drunk. Because that happens frequently. No Sharpie, tattoo gun. Screw the Sharpie.
Well, that's impermanent.
That's right. It doesn't make the point, man. No. Like, I'm a thief and a liar and a crackhead. Right across his face. You can't hide that. In places where, like, you know, like right across his eyebrows. I do it one eyebrow before, the other eyebrow like backwards, so like you have to read it and look at it every day. Well, in the mirror.
You know, it's just like, you know, I don't want to go into any details, but it's like that person I'm pissed off at that did, you know, that did you wrong. Like, you know, it's like I care deeply about those that are in my life. Like the people that are in my life on a daily basis and that I interact with, I care deeply about, and I will do it. Like something happens, is like I'm more than willing to do what I have to do to feel justified. Like, you know, to feel that justice was served, because that's part of like what I feel about the societal niceness is we're not doing justice to ourselves. We're not doing justice to our fellow man by not calling them on his shit. Like, look, you're being an ignorant bigot right now. Cut it out. Or you're being an ignorant racist. Cut it out. Like, just.
Right. Exactly. Like, you know, back to that tattoo gun thing. You know, look at the frickin' banksters that are like robbing us blind and have been for decades and decades. You know, if we just use the tattoo gun and put it across their forehead, I rob people. You're not going to do banking business with them, are you?
No, probably not.
No, it's pretty simple. It's like day one stuff right there. Oh, it robs people right across his forehead. I'm not going to give him any of my money. I would do that first. First and foremost, across the forehead. If you're not going to get jail time, and you're going to get like a fine that was like 1/100th of a tenth of the money you robbed, then you should have a tattoo across your forehead. Like, you know what? I'm going to screw you. No lube, and your family's going to be homeless. Like right there, across your forehead. So when you look at them, like, I ain't buying a car from you. I ain't buying a house from you. I ain't buying nothing from you. You have fun sitting next to the guy with the sign that says, I need money for beer, and I'll give him money first.
I wouldn't even buy a hamburger at McDonald's from you. Even though I know exactly you can't rob me on that. I still wouldn't do it.
Give me something. Those people at the burger place are going to like have freaking tattoos on their foreheads as I spit in your food.
Oh, shit.
Then you got the overall really super bad feeling. I'm that guy. Just leave me alone. You'd stay away from me. Not that guy you're talking about.
I was going to say, wouldn't I have that tattoo then? No. Because I am that guy. I'm that guy that.
But you don't do anything bad. You just point out what they're doing.
According to a lot of people, that's bad. According to a lot of bosses, that's bad. According to lots of other people that
societal dictates.
Yeah, like that's a bad thing. That's a bad trait that I have. You know what? I don't feel it's a bad trait. I feel that being truthful and honest with people, the truth is painful sometimes. Painful. Like, you don't like it? You know what? That means that you know that you're in the wrong. That's what that tells me. And if you react a certain way, I'm just going to needle you. I'm just going to keep needling until you snap. Or you make me snap, and either way, it's not going to be a good thing. But that's what's going to happen, because I'm that dude. I will push it to that limit, just because, like, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, I have issues on certain things, and I will not take shit, and I will blow the fuck up if you push me too far. You know, if I bitch and moan and try to tell you, like, we need to handle this, we need to talk about this, we need to deal with this, and over time it doesn't happen, and I go, all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. And you just came out with too much truth in my face, and you made me look bad, and I can't have that, so you're fired. Like, fuck you, I quit. Like, that's what it comes down to, is like, you can't fire me, I quit. Like, because I'm tired of your shit, and I'm not gonna put up with your shit, or his shit, or her shit, or their shit over there, or, you know, I don't do it. And I'm a much happier guy since I left that world where you have to deal with all that. You know, I still have to deal with it, but I learned a few things, and I know how to do it politely.
Excluded yourself out of certain situations where they're really it gets bad. Yeah.
I just don't put myself there. Like, I don't allow myself to, if I find myself in a situation where it's potential that I may open my big fat mouth, I try to move out of that just because I know myself, and my inner censor is going away. And, you know, I beat that guy to death enough times that I don't think he's coming back out of the hospital this time. So my inner censor, he's kind of done. And
permanent ER. He's laying there dying.
He's in intensive care right now on life support.
Intensive care.
Not alright what happened to him. He got the shit to kick out of him. Not alright. He not to talk anymore. He only mumble. Anyhow, so
I don't think you're supposed to do that, James.
I don't care.
Ow, 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 ow.
I squished Jiminy the Cricket, all right? Like, that's what happened. I squished that little bastard in between the pages of a book. It was like,
done with you.
In between the pages of a pale horse, he got squished. It's like, screw you, buddy. So there's no point. I mean, life is short. Why? I mean, and if more, I feel personally, and this is just me speaking from my point of view and my biased opinion, that if more people were honest and truthful in their daily interactions with their loved ones and with, you know, those around them, and were truthful about everybody's interactions over time, society would get raised a level of like decency. Like, and I think some shit would get cured, but who am I, you know? That's just him stealing because he's a drug addict. It's okay. He'll come out of it someday. It's just a phase.
Sound like Adam Sandler's Jewish mother.
Exactly.
Go out by the pool and play with your cock and balls.
Exactly. See, what else can you do?
I'm so lost.
It's like what we came to the conclusion about a week or so ago. It's like we can go round and round and round about how screwed we are. What do we do? Do we stand up? Do we protest? Like, it's the infinity circle of going around and around. And guess what? We found another one.
Yeah, the infinity of death.
Yeah. So we found another thing where you can go round and round and round and round. I think some of this you could break out of pretty easily and, like, you know, kind of change it, but it's still a loop. You're still going to go around. It's still a vicious cycle because, you know what? We're a minority of people that think like this. And most of society is being led by the bull ring, like I said earlier, and they're happy and content as Hindu cows. Like, I get my, my government check. I get my money back every year. It's okay. They can keep doing. I can bitch. I can do this. I can do that.
Well, I always vote. I always put my viewpoint in. I never win. I'm like a gambler.
My favorite are the people that think they're alternative, like media, like that. Don't listen to mainstream media, but are still listening to mainstream spun media. So it's like, okay, really? Okay, like, it's okay. You just want to pat them on the head and tell them they're doing a good job.
You're doing good, buddy. It's okay.
Or you just want to, grab them by the jowls and be like, it's a good boy.
It's like a moot point. Like,
it is.
It's a moot point. You can't say the mainstream media is freaking horrible and lying to us and then quote them.
Yeah, exactly.
See? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't pay attention to hardly any mainstream media. I will go through the headlines.
Yeah,
I literally just go through the headlines. Don't care. Nothing is gonna change, and this is like bullshit, propaganda, bullshit,
spin.
Sports, and then some science news, like mostly bullshit, and that's it. Like, we gotta start weeding out the shit we take into ourselves. Not only just for what we think we believe, because there's a lot of people that think they believe shit, but they don't. They have no idea.
You think for yourself.
I can't remember who it was. It was like, oh man.
People need to think for themselves and not, okay, personally, I read lots of headlines and probably about at least 10 different sources. I try to read, the same story in a few different ways and a few different things and try to get as much information as I can and try to suss out the real story for myself.
Well, yeah.
And that's how I form an opinion. So, you know, people just need to think for themselves and instead of just.
Well, like, you know, what I'm saying is like I'm not gonna like say the frickin' other networks and stuff, but like they go just grab the news like hot off the press. Doesn't matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what it is, and they just run with it.
Yeah, they put their spin on it so that it turns it into their favorable light, and there it is, spun news. Right. Well, like Jules was saying in the chat, like you have to listen to hear to what to what they're weaving. They're weaving a web. And Jules, I'm not talking about anyone on this network. I'm just talking about like in this whole movement, like this movement with quotes and like air quotes, and it's just like I've heard so much of just like grabbing stuff and running with it, and it's just. By now, if that was true, the Chinese would be like on every street corner, or the Russian would be on every street corner. Like if it was true, you know, I just don't. Once again, we're spinning our wheels in the mud because we've mired ourselves in a conversation that, you know, there's probably tons of solutions out there, and we have our own viewpoint on it, and.
I like to think that like everyone on this network
thinks
for themselves.
Yeah.
Thinks for themselves.
Yeah.
And we all do.
Yeah.
We all do. We all think for ourselves and come up with our own conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
And we go through multiple sources. But there's people out there that aren't.
CNN.
In our little mini click here.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You're going, okay.
I'm going mini big.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. No.
And it's run with everything. Like, you know, if Mr. Bullhorn was true, then the world would have ended 10 years ago, you know, 15 years ago. It just drives me crazy. I'm just so tired of people not thinking for themselves. And that goes back to the stupid people. They're no common sense, no thinking for themselves. Their brain is not active. Mm-hmm. They get enough stimulus to make it fire up for a second, and that's good enough for the day. It's like having a collector's Camaro or a collector's freaking Corvette you start 3 times of the year. Just to make sure it still runs.
Yeah.
You know? It's the same thing. Like, well, my brain fired for like 5 seconds.
Sweet.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah. Hey, dude.
There's pertinent news out there that is, after you do your research, that is actually something you need to let the people know.
Uh-huh. All right.
But when it's just like, hot off the presses, you know, the Chinese and Russian are trading in Missouri. Well, no shit. We have an international agreement to do that. Sorry. We're trading in like, you know, Zimbabwe right now for all I know or give a shit. But we have an agreement with them. Like, it's to be expected. But it's not like we're going to invade Zimbabwe next. I'm just making this shit up, everyone. I'm just like throwing, like, this is more of a hypothetical situation. But it's like, running with something like that, it just drives me crazy.
Well, it's like the whole, like my favorite little runaway story right now is the terrorist attack, quote unquote, that happened on the power station in, was that SoCal?
Yeah, the one with the militant snipers were shooting stuff. Oh, well, you're going to tell us a year later?
Right. Yeah, I know. Okay, there's that, you know, and then, you know, on the way home today, I was flipping around and I caught the tail end of something where they were like, well, they're gonna heighten security and pass those costs along to the ratepayers. You know, it's like, really? That's great. Like,
it makes me feel really good about what you guys are doing.
But it also pointed out, you know, like, you know, somebody with the wherewithal that gets pissed off. Okay. Like I'm a dude that gets pissed off about a lot of things. Not gonna deny that, but I'm not gonna go shoot something up. You know what I mean? But there's people out there that are pissed off enough and they're shooting that stuff and it pointing out vulnerabilities in certain things. And like now they're trying to spin it to like,
well, how do we know? Okay. Well, with the so-called snipers with the assault weapons.
You're right.
That shot over 100 and something rounds and hit like 5 things.
No,
like,
they hit a lot more than that, but Anyhow.
They shot a lot more than they hit, is my point, because the video was showing a whole lot of patinks off the frickin' fence. Mm-hmm. But, like, who's to say that these people weren't Blackwater?
Yeah.
Who's to say they weren't out there to try to trigger something or some kind of effect in the militia movement, per se?
That's what I'm saying. Somebody that's pissed off trying to make something happen out there right now doing something like that. Like,
or they're part of like some kind of group / government, like CAA or, whatever frickin' spook group out there to try to trigger something to make us all look bad.
Yeah. Well,
it's been tried before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying about, I've been digging on this thing and I can't find out a whole lot. There's only like, the main thing that I can find. I can't find anything smaller, like a daily out of like, Modesto or something, something small where somebody like doing that actually cares and it's like, an actual journalist trying to do something, has something to report. I haven't seen anything, so I don't know, but that's what I'm saying is like, it's a spun thing right now. It's like, okay, first of all, you waited almost a year to tell us and then now it's being spun into a terrorist attack. It is, no. Somebody's pissed off, though. That's all I want to say. Somebody's pissed off.
We read the definition of terrorism on air like a couple shows ago, and everything we do and everything they do,
it's terrorism.
It's terrorism, and they're just in their definition. Everything that we do and everything that they do, both of us, all of us, everything is terrorism. So, like, we just standing outside with a sign now. We're trying to manipulate the government for the benefit of something else. Well. Can you get a little more vague? Which frickin' lawyer that graduated CCV frickin' wrote that up? Seriously? Just drives me nuts, man. It frickin' drives me nuts. It really does. It's Spin City. This is like the big, huge country full of Spin City. You can view everything a certain way. And we got a bunch of freaking people wandering out in traffic, reading the Drudge Report.
You know what it almost reminds me of? And like, okay, with all the spin and like, like disinformation and everything, it's like, it just reminds me of like the Men in Black when they would read the tabloids because that was the only true news out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. The most off the wall shit is true.
Right. Like Elvis is actually in Vegas and like, the aliens.
He's impersonating himself. Right. Making a lot more money now than he was when he was himself. And Bigfoot has a love child in Florida. It's probably true. Actually, I think he has one in California named what the hell is her name? Frickin'
Octomom?
No, the frickin' gun grabbing woman there. What's her name? Senator, Feinstein.
Oh. That's almost better.
She was Bigfoot's freaking love child for all I know. That sounds a lot better than her being human to me. Cause she was human, she wouldn't have a concealed carry permit, 1 of 3 in her county, and try to pull guns from everyone else. What's that say to everyone? What's that say? Oh, I'm allowed to have a gun, but you aren't. I'm allowed to be free, but you aren't. You're like, I feel like I'm on the playground. Go.
Do the truffle shuffle. That's actually yet another good reason to live up here. Like, you have a license, you have a permit. Like, that's it. That's all you need. Unless you're told that you can't have one, but.
License and permit for what?
Gun.
You don't need those.
You need it. Well, you have to, if you have a driver's license.
Oh yeah, driver's license.
That's what I'm saying. If you have a driver's license, you have a permit. Like that's.
Right. There's no paperwork really involved.
No.
There's no like, oh well, I have to go sign up for the registry and I have to go take classes and courses, to make sure that I'm okay with the fire. No, it's like your parents should have did that to begin with. Like we were raised with guns up here.
Yep. Well,
Well, you weren't, but
those of you that were raised.
no, I'd done introduced y'all to that. And you were just lucky enough and smart enough to move here all on your own.
Yeah.
It's called freedom, man. We had the freedom to raise our kids up here, and we had the freedom of freaking owning guns and walking around with them on our hips or in our jacket without anyone knowing. Well, the people that would see you on your hip would notice, but
Well, you either carry open or you carry conceal. That's it. Those are the two rules.
that's right. And an armed society is
A polite society.
that's right, and we have a very
Polite society.
that's right.
I do believe that is probably why our gun violence is low here, is because everybody up here has a gun. It's like,
Well, the probability of like some altercation ending with like gunshots is high up here, and it's not like it happens, but the probability is up. Like, you know, that when statisticians go out there and like figure out like what's the probability of this and that. Well, in the state of Vermont, well, if you kick
Mess
someone's
with them.
door down, there's usually at least one shotgun pointed at you. There was a wedding I went to that happened to. There was nothing in the shotgun, but the old got people to go outside. But that's common. Almost everyone I know has got something in their car under the seat. Be it a 1911, be it anything. You name it. They always got something there. Because we're legally allowed to have that under our rights as human beings. Are you wearing your 16th article shirt?
no, I'm wearing my Vermont 2A shirt.
Ah, yes, the other shirt.
Yes.
But we have a part of our gun rights in this state says that not only do we have the rights to keep and bear arms in the state, but it also includes the words for self-protection and protection of our family and others.
It also says it is your duty to do so because standing armies are potential for tyranny, and you must protect against tyranny. So those are all really good reasons right there for me. So sign me up. Oh wait, I'm here. Sign me up.
Sign me up. Well, I got a driver's license. Like me.
Sweet.
I got my state ID card.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to the next one.
The guy at work got one.
Yeah?
Oh, he got one.
Yeah?
Showed it to me. We were picking it apart, man. All we really came up with is it really sucks that he had to have an RFID chip license as the real ID. But he had a good picture. He's like, it's a good picture. I'm like, dude. He's like, I know, it's a real ID, and it's real ID.
Does it say real ID on it?
No, but the real ID insignia on it is a gold star right on the corner. And it says, there's two differentiations of it. A driver's license, it says driver's license for the real ID with the star on it. That's your real ID, fucking federal ID card. And, the one that doesn't have the star that you opt out says operator's license. So you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
And it's bullshit.
Oh,
It's all bullshit.
Well, the operator's license is for the immigrants. The illegal immigrants.
Don't get me started on the illegal
I know,
immigrants.
but that's what I'm saying. But that's,
You know, one state in the whole union you'd think we wouldn't have Mexicans would be the one that was the coldest. And I got that in the trash from
I saw
20
that.
over your shoulder and into the trash, man.
Well, you know.
I don't really have a problem with Mexicans, just the ones that try to kill me in LA, those ones I have a problem with. But the other ones is just, we shouldn't be importing Mexicans into Vermont, man. You think of all the states to go to, Vermont would be the last choice.
I could think of lots of people on welfare that need a job. That should be death march to it and to make them do it, because, like, honestly, it's like, you know, I hate paying for other people to live better than I do. Like, I mean, I live decently. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I lack for much, but, you know, like, they make more money than I do. They get their food paid for.
They get a driver's license.
They get subsidized housing.
They get more kids they make.
Yeah, well, you know, and yet they have enough to go out and, you know, they go to NASCAR races and they have cable. I don't even have cable. Like, I don't have cable, man.
It's not like 100% of you would not want to have cable. Every now and then there's a freaking game on you want to watch, right? Exactly. But can't afford it because we're playing by the rules as honest, willing people, participants in this system. We don't want to be on the dole. We don't want to be feeding at the government trough.
Hell no.
Because only pigs eat
I'd
there.
rather eat out of a dumpster than eat at the government trough, to be honest with you. And you can eat fairly well out of dumpsters if you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You just got to know when and where to hit. That's it.
Well, there was this whole documentary I mentioned before on there. Like, I can't remember what it was called. I wish I could remember what it was called. But the idea was like Freedom Vor or like something like that. Like they just went around to restaurants right at the end of their day and like they were pulling out full like whole pizzas that had never been touched and like it was sitting on top of the. It's like seriously, like, you could probably in certain cities eat like a freaking king.
You can eat decently. You can eat enough to survive
if you know where to go.
Exactly. But we're all not we all, but
we're regulated, man.
People are fooled, man. They've succeeded in pulling the wool over the eyes.
My friend, his mother used to work like 2 days a week at this convenience store, the one near your town, actually. Mm-hmm. And at the end of her shift, there was extra pizza slices and stuff. The throw outables at the end of the day, and the local poor families that she knew that lived cause she lived like 2 houses down.
Yep.
And they would show up at the back door right as her shift was out, right when she was walking out to the trash bin to throw all this really good food away. And she would just give it to them. Instead of throwing it in the trash, she would give them the food. Mm. She got fired for it.
Yep. You know what? There's going to come a day when these people wish they didn't throw away so much food or waste
we're
so much water.
Wasteful,
we're
man.
a way wasteful society. And there's going to come a time when you're going to be like, damn, I used to stand and water my lawn for 8 hours a day and on the weekend and make my lawn all pretty. And I would kill a man right now for a bottle of naive water.
SLC actually has the word. I'm like, it's freegans. They're called freegans.
Ah.
Yeah, like vegans, but freegans.
Right. No, but I mean, I lived on the road and was homeless by choice for the better part of 3 years. You learn to eat at soup kitchens. You learn what pizza places just throw the dump. Some places would grind them up and mess them all up, then throw them in the dumpster. Other places would just throw it on top, because they knew. And, it's definitely possible to do, and you can eat well. You're not going to eat great or super healthy, but you can definitely live like that. I don't know. It's something. It's like if you're living that way, then it's something that you can, slightly depend on because, places like that are open every day. I don't know. It's just, but to me, it's like I would rather do that than accept, an EBT card and get $500 a month in food stamps or take any money on that, because once you're in that system, you're in that system, and you might as well just get your number tattooed on you right now, because that's what it's going to come down to in the future. So
one of the reasons why I'm happy that my ex-girlfriend left me is because she was putting herself into that system.
Yes,
because she out of choice couldn't friggin' work. Mm. But she wanted to contribute food or something or anything.
Right.
So she signed up for it without telling me until after she went and got her first bout of food. And I was like, where did you get all this food? Well, I got an EBT card. I'm like, huh? She's like, well, I wanted to contribute some food even though I'm not working. I'm like, and I'm doing that societal politeness and relationship politeness. Not going like, it's because you can't work because you choose not to work. You keep quitting your jobs. I don't want to be a part of that system. You've heard me talk about it many times. That's why I work 100 billion hours a week and have no freaking life so I can pay for everything so we don't have to be a part of that government dole. And she didn't agree.
No.
And after 10 years, and people are set in their ways at 10 years, and really I didn't realize that her way was
the easy way.
The easy way.
Yeah. The slave way.
Screw that shit, man. My next girlfriend is going to have a job and have some kind of liberty-minded, constitutional-minded something between her gray matter ears.
Hopefully.
Or I'll just have my cat for the rest. I don't care. I'll have my cat for the rest of the life. She doesn't talk back.
She's
to
out
me.
there. She is out there waiting. She just hasn't met you yet. She's waiting for Mr. Justyn to come strolling down the street in his loud ass Subaru being like, look at me.
No, I drive to my loud ass Subaru going like, please don't look at me because I don't want to get a ticket for defective equipment. It would be really ironic if my next girlfriend was the cop that pulled me over for the loud exhaust. That'd be kind of ironic.
Yeah.
Chick cops around here are crazy.
Well, no, I feel that if you're on that side of the fence, that you're already like, I hate to say lost cause.
Too far gone.
Yeah.
Too far gone. You're hitting on cops. You got a problem.
No, not you personally. I'm saying cops personally. They're too far gone. You don't want to do. No. You're crazy, dude. Whatever.
No, we're all crazy, man.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna be stuck with the freaking the chick that like, has like the crazy ex-husband that stalks her. That's gonna be me. I feel it. It's gonna happen. I live in a crazy state.
Yes, we do. Yes.
It's funny, we're really free, yet we're also really dictated to at the same time. We're free to be dictated to, I guess.
Yeah. Well, just one of the things that's hard about living here is the geography. Like, to get anywhere is like 20 minutes. It's like,
that's what I love about this state, man. That's what I love about this state. No, just the people and the description of how to get places. Everything's in time, man. These people that like do shit in freaking miles and like distance, they're all screwed up. They're all screwed up, man. I went from here to LA directly from high school. Directly, man. Like 5 days later, I was in LA from high school. And I ran into these people, and I'd been in LA 6 months at this time. And, I'd been trying to drive around and kind of learn my location. It's kind of difficult when you're in like this multiple square mile city, but you kind of have the idea where people usually go, because I was a tourist to begin with, kind of, because I lived there, because I want to know where I was going. But I ran into my friends from South Dakota. They're still friends of mine to this day. But when they first asked me, it was like, we're in Hollywood, and they're like, so how far is it to Sunset Beach from Hollywood? And I'm like, 2.5 hours. They're like, well, the map says it's like 4 miles. Well, there's a freaking stoplight every fucking 100 feet. And then you got stupid people, and you got traffic, and then you got pedestrians, and it's 2.5 hours. Like, it's not that easy to get there. Like, it looks easy on the map. Definitely.
Can't get that from here.
Yeah, exactly. Freaking, what was that, The Shining? No, that was, Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
So, I think we're more realistic when we talk about distance and time. How long does it take you to get to here, to here, to here, to here? Well, it takes you about 30 minutes. So you have a good idea how long it's going to take you to get there. Screw the frickin' distance, because distance isn't actually used that way.
No.
Like I said, it's like 5 miles. And take it most of the day to get there. Like, one of the running things I used to say in LA when I was living there, man, like, oh, well, LA's like the only city where you can go swimming at the beach and surfing at the beach, and then you can go like mall shop jumping like all afternoon, and then you can go to like the mountains and go skiing all in one day. You can't fucking do that unless you have a helicopter. I'm sorry, like, I've lived here, man, like, unless you're passing everyone and then traffic is semi-light and CHP is off that day, you might actually be able to do those things. But in all reality, you can go to the beach, get stuck in traffic, step out of your car in Hollywood again, get back into it immediately, almost make it out to the frickin' outer edge of the city, and then by then the sun's going down and you're screwed. Like, you're not making it to any mountain. There's no like non-city area you can go to. There's no like, I'm gonna go skiing. Oh, well, you better plan on that all day. Sorry. So that's what I like about the state. We're realists. We're a little realistic when it comes to shit.
Yeah.
When it comes to gun laws, when it comes to like just treating people a certain way. And like what you do, man. Like, if someone's being stupid or like says something dumb, just tell them. There's I'd rather have an argument than some kind of fist fight.
Well, yeah, but I just like you said, just want to tell them what's up in 2 minutes or less and whoosh, be out. Because whereas a society filled with ADD people, they only have like 2-minute attention spans. So you got to be within like the commercial range. You got to be like the minute and a half commercial range. You got to get it all in that. And then they lose interest and they start to glaze over. So you got to punch them real quick and then get out. Verbally punch them and get out.
Kind of like the Scarlet Letter. We're going to run into the people that are the problematic people in this world. Because they're going to have tumors in their hands the shape of iPads. You got the iPad tumor. Like, oh, you got an iPad. Oh, yeah. Nope, I got a tumor. Mm. But it looks just like an iPad. The screen's even there. It just doesn't connect with anything. I've been trying for weeks.
I'm a tumor.
I'm a tumor.
Oh.
I think we watched way too many cartoons growing up in the last 10 years.
Who defines too many? Like that's why, because I still watch cartoons.
It's like the DSM there, what it was, the manual of like, psychological disorders. Who's the crazy guy that writes that? Like, I've always said, like, oh, you're gonna go to the nut house for that. Really? Really? Who's the crazy ass dude that thought that was crazy to begin with? That thought he could label me as crazy because he was crazier than me to think of it to begin with?
He had to think in crazy land to think of a name for the crazy that I am. So who really is crazier?
He's the same guy picking mushrooms off cow patties in the field. That's who that guy is.
He's like a barefoot monk wearing a loincloth running around thinking of like weird esoteric words while eating mushrooms. Direct injecting LSD into his toes. I
put it in my eyeballs, make everything work great. I guess the moral of tonight's show was really, don't argue with stupid people because they're just going to bring you down to their level and win with experience. And don't believe everything you hear from, any media. Do your own research. And I like to think that we all do our research as much as we can and justify and what's the word I'm looking for? Not codify, but there's a word for it. I don't know. Like we
Are you talking about like back up what you're talking about?
Yeah, we're back up what we're talking about. Like we have some kind of
like knowledge, to stand on
knowledge of how to do research and put the actual information in front of people because that's important and not just spouting off bullshit to get some kind of reaction. One thing I love about UCY and then Jules giving us this whole venue to go off about stuff is like we're not fed by like advertisements. We're not looking to like make sure certain people are happy. I don't
have to say, and eat your breakfast with Kellogg's because it's good for you.
That's right. And anyone needs a squatty potty or some, freeze-dried mayonnaise, you call the freeze-dried mayonnaise guy. Like, I'm not, I like that we're not hindered here and we can put our viewpoints. We can all have a
good discussion.
A good discussion and a really intellectual, logical argument, debate about anything that we talk about here on this network. So thanks everyone for being here and thank you Jules for throwing this up for us to be able to ramble on and
although we're not so logical all the time on ourselves, but
well, I think
it makes sense to us, but
that's why we call this a show. We call this a show because it's the me and you show, dude.
Yeah, I got it.
This is the way we think. We're thinking aloud.
It is a good place to be a couple nights a week. So
I'd like to thank everyone in chat for being here, and I'd like to throw out that we got the continued condition coming on next with Jonathan and Steven, and then after that we got On the Brink with Jeff Wefferson, and then Primer Time, and then we got Pepper Chicks After Dark to end out a great evening. So I would love if everyone would stick around in chat and have a good, nice live night of radio all night long.
You actually made it through the whole thing.
It's work. Later, guys. Hey. See you Thursday.